go.
And here we have it, guys. Game number 1 between Millennium Stephano and Evil Genius's HuK. Game 1 is going to be played on HuK's Plateau. The countdown has started. We're moving into the game right now.
That's right. And again, this is Millennium Stephano versus Evil Genius's HuK. The loading screen is loading.
That's what it does.
That's right. Again, thanks for joining us, guys. This is IPL 3 Origins. And there, at the bottom right part of HuK's Plateau, is again one of our previous winners already in this group from the team Evil Geniuses. It is HuK. Good luck, have fun, mad women. Mad women, I don't know.
Yeah, Stephano just loving it. Anyway, he is down in the bottom left-hand corner here. Millennium Stephano, he is our pink Zerg player, so give a cheer for him, guys.
A lot of Stephano fans out there.
HuK wants to clarify what mad women.
Asking what we're all wondering. I mean, first we had Jethro Gibbs, now mad women. I don't know, that's crazy IDs. It's nothing like Hope Torture, though. Oh, that's true. A mad woman is an insane lady. That's true.
That's true. All right. Yes. I'm sorry, Stephano. I don't speak French.
Everybody is an insane lady today, I guess.
So here we go.
I don't know.
HuK actually filling out pylon near the front of the ramp. No real surprise. He'll do some sort of next first or Forge Fast Expand.
Yeah, I mean, Forge Expand is kind of the thing to do on this map. It's very, very popular. All right. I'm not going to make any more comments about what they're saying right now.
Way too tempting to just read chat. Yeah. I'm there too. Anyway, so
my wife is coming tomorrow, but she might be watching the stream right now, so I don't want to say anything about women being insane or anything.
And Stephano already trying to chase down the notorious HuK probe, of course, which is trying to deny mining as long as possible.
Probes are really annoying. You know, it's like their goal in life. It's like if you're signing up to be a probe on the little form, it's like, can you mine minerals? You're like, yeah, I can do that. Can you warp in buildings? Yeah, I can do that too. Can you harass people just trying to do their jobs who didn't ever do anything to you? And you're like, I'm an evil jerk. I think I can do that. Yeah, and they're like, you're going to be a great probe.
Explains so much about Protoss players. Oh, wait, did I say that? No. We have spawning pool coming down first for Stephano. He doesn't have to worry about that jerk harassing probe. It looks like that probe not even going to try and deny this hatchery, though, for a while.
In all honesty, though, HuK is so good at this. I mean, it makes a big impact preventing mining like that. Finally, it does allow the probe to pick up some minerals, so that's over with. But kind of detaining one mineral patch to your opponent, that's a big deal.
And you know,
early in the game, for sure.
Interesting, even seeing the spawning pool right away, he decided to Nexus first and then throw down the Forge after that. So it's going to be a while before he has any sort of defense. If early lings are sent across for Stephano, could do very real damage.
Well, I think we'll have to see. I mean, HuK will probably put a cannon down, probably finish about in time. Stephano going for that fairly early gas, although not quite as early as normal. Like you mentioned, he did want to get that hatchery up a little bit earlier. Now those things are going to chase that probe away, man. We'll have to see if the probe is going to pay for everything it did.
And looks like that was a 16 pool 17 hatch as well. So we'll see if he decides to go fairly economic for a while or if he's just going to play. I mean, like I said, during the qualifiers, he had been playing +1 speedling builds, making sure that he dealt with any early harassment with that, and then moved into infestors and straight up to tier 3 units after that.
Interesting. All right. So, yeah, I like this opening quite a bit, actually. It does let you be a little bit more economically sound. And, I mean, if your opponent is doing that Forge Expand like HuK is doing, you know, why not? There's nothing stopping you. You don't need to be really all that defensive.
Certainly. We'll see if he takes a very quick third base here in a bit as well, or if he decides to sit on two base for a while. Well, something to notice, I noticed how Stephano's played during the qualifiers, and this may be just his strategy for our qualifiers, may not be indicative of his play overall, but he loves to sit on two base for a very long period of time and actually make very, very aggressive timings off of high-tech units with relatively low economy.
Well, that's actually something that's becoming more popular all around, is to just stay on two bases a little bit longer in PvZ. That big infestor push that I was talking about that uses all those infested Terrans we often see on two bases. So that's not too surprising, actually. There's a probe hiding up at the top of the map. You see it now. It's like, these are my minerals. It's like the Golem probe. It's like,
I always think they look like cute little cats. They got their treat. They're coming to bring the dead rat to your feet. But anyway,
I guess that's true too, yeah.
Stephano actually going for that third base this time around, though, so he decides that he doesn't want to have to deal with a two-base versus two-base situation. He's going to go ahead and move that up. Sentry coming out of HuK, though, with Warp Gate technology. and +1. So we're going to see a very early, looks like aggressive gateway timing out of him.
Okay. Well, I mean, HuK is known early on. He was the guy who did all the gateway timings. He's very, very good at them. You know, all the jokes about like top 3 force field control. He really is that good. I mean, his force fields are great now.
Yeah.
So
I've also heard great stories about when he was first getting into playing back to VT last year and things like that.
Oh, really?
When he was, he said his computer would only last for about 10 minutes at a time, so he couldn't do anything other than 4 gate.
That's a good point. I mean, you got to do to win. Play to win, right?
Absolutely.
Look at this Stephano being so active with his Zerglings, looking for pylons and things like that too. Oh, but you were showing the gateways.
Mass gateway production.
Will indeed be a bunch of gateways.
Almost symmetrical there as well. Very cute out of HuK. But yeah, another 6 gateways being added to the mix. So 7 gate +1 timing off of 2 base. And really there's going to be, wow, actually Stephano going after layer tech right away. So he doesn't have a ton of Zerglings on the field. And this timing could be very, very, very powerful.
The 7 gate is quickly becoming like the thing to do in PvZ right now. I mean, Artosis actually put up a blog a couple days ago about the benefits of the different kinds of 7 gates. And yeah, HuK's showing us one of those right now. There's a type where you make 3 gateways early on and then add the other ones later, or you can do what HuK is doing, where you can add 6 gateways at once and just kind of survive on 1 gate after that Forge expand. But either way, it's become very, very powerful.
And there we have it. HuK has a lot of resources saved up as well, but because, as you pointed out before, of the very, very annoying Zerglings from Stephano, he's not been able to establish any sort of forward pylon presence.
Yeah.
So his reinforcement time is going to be very slow for a while. He is moving up a probe with these forces so that he can put down a forward pylon once he starts to make some traction. But it's going to give Stephano a little extra time to prepare.
Yeah, the Roachworn just finishes 6 on the way for Stephano right now. He's probably going to need those, making a lot of roaches at the moment. Are they going to be able to get out in time? HuK's moving in right now with a large amount of sentries and zealots, and he's just going to march right up the ramp, man. There's nothing stopping him. No groups of Zerglings. Stephano doesn't really have any offensive units right now. This is a dangerous position right now for Stephano.
Yeah, free queen kill there for HuK. He's going to back up and wait for a little more reinforcements. He does have a forward pylon going at the top. Roaches actually skirt by that without noticing, it appears.
Well, HuK...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was sorry to interrupt you guys.
No,
it's okay. All right.
It's okay.
Thank you. Meaningful touch. I heard you need at least like 5 of those a day, otherwise you'd get depressed or something, so thank you. 4 to go. All right, and here we go. Stephano managing to get in and surround the sentries. Nice move, HuK's force fields, just a little bit late.
But he's got such good control. He was able to neutralize those slings quite quickly, move the zealots to the back, threw the force fields down at front, so he trapped the roaches, and he was able to deal with those slings very, very quickly. These sentries, which I thought were going to fall right away from that good Zergling surround, have remained entirely intact.
Yeah, I was expecting something a little bit different for a couple seconds there, but HuK looks like he's going to be able to take out this 3rd hatchery of Stephano, and maybe even go beyond that. Stalker's trying to shoot. Like, not the Vikings, the roaches. I'm still jet lagged apparently.
No, it's all right. There's a bunch of Zerglings coming out though, and they're doing quite well against those Stalkers. There's a few roaches that are behind as well, cutting off reinforcements, taking out the pylon. However, Stephano's 3rd does go down.
The natural does get taken out. Natural and hatchery together are natury. I just found that out.
It's all right. Blame it on jet lag.
That's right. But Stephano does push back HuK, and right now these sentries are just going to be as annoying as they can be. May need to cancel this base, or he might get units up there in time. I think he's going to be okay.
It looks like he was dropping down force fields there for a little while. The hatchery is actually going to finish.
Look at that. It's like the A-team of sentries. They're like the special sentry strike force. If you can find them, they can kill hatcheries for you.
Yeah, and the last of the drones are going to fall. Stephano not going to be able to mine off of this base for quite a long period of time. HuK is continuing to pump units out. He's got a ton of Stalkers back at home so we can continue this attack. And just with a pure sentry force has been denying
economy. These are like the scariest sentries I've ever seen, man. These are like the green berets of sentries.
His sense of timing was so good there. Now finally a few roaches make their way in.
That's going to end it all,
yes.
Oh, it's sad.
But, you know, Stephano has kept up his supply quite well through this. How many drones does he have on the field? Still as many drones as HuK has probes at the moment, and there are a lot of units chugging their way across, so Stephano's looking for the counterattack right now.
Well, it's very smart for Stephano to start that hatchery at the 4th as soon as he knew he was going to lose his one at the 3rd, too, just so he didn't really miss too many beats in terms of getting his army up, getting his economy going a little bit better. I mean, if we look at the worker count right now, 51 drones to 49 probes, so HuK has done a good job of forcing a lot of offensive units to keep the worker count of Stephano down as well. But things overall pretty even right now. I mean, don't let the supply count fool you. Things are pretty even in this game.
Yeah, and love these photon cannons on the low ground as well, just to help out with the engagement. And if anything, they're just going to help significantly with positioning and also getting this Nexus up. HuK finally going to his third. Stephano was trying to double expand as well. He had a macro hatchery going down in addition to his third coming back up. So he's going to have quite a few hatcheries, and his production is going to be really going to reflect that. It's going to be quite good.
Yeah. Well, you ask a Zerg player, how many hatcheries is good? And the correct answer is just as many as the map can take.
Uh-oh, and we have a big engagement. Roaches are making their way in, and HuK trying his best to put down some good force fields.
Oh,
he does manage to...
Those are nice force fields.
Yeah, actually, most of the roaches were separated from the main force.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with force fields against roaches, what a lot of times you see is just things to break it up and use that 4 range against them. But look at this, roaches getting right in there next to the stalkers, but HuK should have enough. Oh, the Immortal getting caught on its own. It's like, I have 6 range, let me run away, please, I want to use it. But it's taken out.
Yeah, but already Stephano has lost a lot of supply. Although these roaches are making their way into the main, they're going to try and disrupt this as much as possible. Well, these couple of stalkers warping their way in now.
These are scouting roaches now. They're scoaches is what you call them.
You love just combining words today.
That's right. I didn't even do it accidentally that time.
Naturies. Anyway.
Look at this. Wow, focusing down a lot of probes, getting some decent kills.
Yeah, how many workers killed now? Looks like 8. So he's about ready to equalize what he lost before.
Not bad.
HuK is still very, very strong on 3 bases, however. He has evened up that supply a little bit, but now Stephano's going to be able to take advantage of that 4-base economy plus the macro hatch in there, so he's going to be able to pump an insane amount of units.
Yeah, well, +2 missile attacks is almost done already for Stephano as well, so those roaches are getting pretty scary, man. And they do have the speed upgrade as well. So speaking of combining words, slow roaches are also sloaches. You can call them that. And I don't know what speed roaches, you can call them spoaches.
If I haven't told you I love you enough, I love you.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
I'm
anyway.
I'm actually not blushing, but the stream doesn't know.
Can't tell through the makeup.
Now they know.
HuK going to make his way in, though. He's got a lot of gateway units behind this. It's a pure Speedling Roach composition for Stephano at the moment. Hasn't had the luxury of being able to tech up. And 5 spine crawlers are coming up, but it doesn't look like they're going to be finished. He's forcing the engagement. Stephano making his way in. He's counterattacking with Zerglings into HuK's third. Really nice. He's going to try and do as much damage as possible, but I don't know if he's going to have enough to hold off these gateway units at the front.
Yeah, looks like Stephano doing some damage at the third, like you mentioned, but HuK fairly even with this Roach army. I mean, the +2 is helping so much. HuK only has +1 with the Lings and the Roaches. Yeah, this is going to be just fine for Stephano. He has done such a great job this game of making the best of a very difficult situation. Look at that. Yeah, cheer for that. That's worth cheering for, absolutely.
Very, very impressive, and Stephano actually going after his 5th base at the same time. The Stalkers are all dead, and now he has a 57 supply lead.
Yeah, Stephano's swinging a big lead in his favor right now, and HuK's in trouble, man. I mean, his saving grace is he does have that third up, and he hasn't lost too many probes with it yet, but Stephano attacking again. Is he going to just try to run into the natural? No, it doesn't look like he is. Just going to try to take advantage of everything he can here, focusing now the sentries first.
Yeah, very, very smart, taking out these photon cannons as well. HuK trying to warp in as many units as he can, but there are still some Lings that are destroying probes inside of the natural. This third base looks like it may fall here in just a second if any sort of reinforcements come out. We do have a tech transition over to Spire, along with a ton of spine crawlers going down, just in case any sort of a... unfortunately, it looks like Doa was dropped, so come on over here, share a little space with me. But
I can't scoot this computer belt swatch.
Gotcha. We got it. HuK is going to finally drive away this force, but because there's a great tech transition going on, because there are just a million spine crawlers coming up, Stephano is going to be able to remain quite well defended.
Yeah, Stephano's in a great position. I mean, what more can you say? In that attack at the third base of HuK, too, he was focusing things, he was focusing the cannons down, moving around, and he was also kiting zealots with some of his roaches at the same time. This guy has sick multitasking, man.
Yeah, certainly. And so Stephano is really, really impressing me. I was wondering how he is going to handle lack of infestors, especially in this matchup, and it looks like he just bypasses them for a while and just masses roaches and Lings, and
yeah, why
it's
not,
worked out pretty well.
And the thing with that is you're seeing the mutas coming out for Stephano as well. And if a Protoss player isn't ready for it, this switch to mutas can be deadly. And I think that Stephano is in a great position to do this right now, where HuK is not going to have a lot of stalkers out. He's not going to have a lot to defend against this. Stephano could do some serious damage with these mutas.
Yes, he could. And he's behind this defensive position too. And because he's already cut the map in half and is operating off of 5 bases, he's forcing HuK to come to him. He's denying any subsequent expansions with these patrolling Lings over here at the top right-hand corner. So he's forcing the action on HuK, because otherwise Stephano's just going to max himself momentarily. He's going to be able to peck away at probes with this pack of mutas that's making its way down at the bottom. Pecking probes.
Pecking.
I'm done.
Peck of pickled mutas. I don't know.
Stephano, though, he is going to kill quite a few workers. It's going to force HuK away. HuK was trying to move out through the middle of the map. He is retreating just a little bit, but he has no response quite yet for all these mutas.
Man, they're going to do so much damage. Roaches and Lings coming across as well. And those spine crawlers are going to slow down HuK's army so much. Oh no! The Stalkers caught a position in the middle of the map. Roaches clean up them so easily. This is what I was talking about. It's hard to worry about the mutas if you're not prepared for them, and at the same time worry about your army in the middle of the map.
So here we have it. Stephano's basically maxed at the moment. He's going to be accumulating quite a few resources, and more importantly, he's kept HuK on 3 bases the entire time.
Yeah,
I mean, HuK was able to establish that third and wasn't able to re-deny the third and fourth out of Stephano. So Stephano's just been running away with this as far as macro is concerned.
Taking down the rocks as well. At the third of HuK, you've got like Immortals trying to blend in with probes, I think it looked like. We'll get a shot of that later. But look at the mutas. They're going to try to do some damage, maybe.
No. Stephano's going to continue breaking down these rocks, so he's going to open a huge flank opportunity for him. Let me take a look.
I don't think he does. No, he
not
actually
at all.
doesn't know. Doesn't know that the rocks are about to be broken down, and this could be back. The robotics bay is right there as well. If he loses that, that means there are going to be no Colossus coming out for HuK as well.
And we'll see if Stephano decides to start trading armies. He is.
Here we go, Cat's Pajamas.
At the same time, he's swinging in with those mutas as well. There are a few Stalkers in position, but this main force is doing quite a bit of damage. A couple of sentries were in place to go ahead and force those units through a little bit of a choke point. Stephano going to back up for a second because he continues to do as much damage as he wants.
Ooh, losing some mutas there.
Yeah, Stalkers cleaning up those mutas, yeah.
Yeah, HuK held that off just perfectly fine. He had the right amount of sentries there as well. Trapped a lot of
spine crawlers.
And 10 Corruptors coming out too, man. We're going to see some Broodlords, I think, pretty soon.
Yes, indeed.
It's about that time.
Yep, see if Greater Spire's finished here. Of course, I don't actually know where that Spire's at the moment, but...
Somewhere.
We'll drag it down in a bit.
Somewhere on the map.
Here comes
hard
HuK.
to find sometimes. Yeah, HuK is going to move out. Really needs to do damage with this attack. If this attack gets crushed like the rest of them, HuK is going to be in huge trouble.
Yeah, he really is. These spine crawlers are in such a good position, spread out as well, so they're not all going to go down at once. In addition, Stephano is now playing on creep. HuK's not been able to deny that the entire time. There's finally Greater Spire coming up. It is going to be quite a long distance away, but eventually those Corruptors will mean something. However, for the moment, they aren't kind of dead weight. There's no Colossi on the field. They can throw down Corruption, yes, and weaken those units on the ground a little bit, but that's about their only use for a little while.
Dude, all those spine crawlers is going to slow down things so much. Look at this HuK, though, trying to attack this corner base, or the pocket bases, if you will, and it's a good position for HuK. Yeah, he's going to get a free base right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That goes down. The Greater Spire is about to finish itself up. However, at the same time, we had a packed Lings come through the third of HuK. Did it kill many workers?
I think it did.
Yeah, it looks like the 26 workers killed in total for Stephano.
Wow. So all the workers at the third base killed, or at least quite a few of them, maybe a couple in the gas escaped.
Kill all of the workers.
If I was going to be a probe at a base, I would ask to be one of the 3 gas probes, because if you get attacked, it's a chance you can just duck into the refinery, or the assimilator, I guess it is for Protoss.
I'm just working. Don't bother me. I'm a pacifist.
Yep. They're like, I wasn't the probe who was harassing you earlier. That was a different probe.
Not the probes you were looking for.
That's right. Not the probes.
I made the first Star Wars reference.
Oh,
Bam!
no. I must be jet-lagged if my co-caster makes a Star Wars reference before I do.
Anyway, HuK going to try and clear up this third and fourth. There's a roving pack of Lings that are sitting up here to deny bases, but they're not going to be able to engage those units head-on. In the middle of the map, Stephano trying to run out with a few roaches. However, HuK left a good bit of Mortals and Sentries behind, and he's not really going to have a problem taking those down. However, he's going to start attacking right into the Spine Crawlers.
Those Immortals are pretty far forward, though. I'm a little bit worried about that. Mana Roaches are fast on creep.
Yeah, they really are, and these Immortals are doing quite a bit of damage there. Now they're actually going to be surrounded, so their 6 range is actually going to matter. Look at those Immortals, 15 kills, continuing to go up. We have a few Broodlords that are morphing in, but HuK is actually making quite a good stand. However, he has to kill many bases at the moment and basically kill Stephano's entire army because he has still not been able to go up to a 4th.
Yeah, this is really difficult for Protoss players to handle. Yeah, you can see HuK having to pull back there. Those 2 Broodlords that were morphing right over the army are like the 2 luckiest Broodlords ever, actually. But yeah, it's going to be really tough to deal with. Now, the one lucky thing for HuK is that there are not Infestors there to fungal the Stalkers. That's like the unwinnable situation when you've got Stalkers against Infestor Broodlord.
But you know what? HuK is still considerably down in supply just because of the sheer macro might of Stephano. He finds himself still at a pretty good advantage despite the fact that HuK was getting favorable engagements. He was getting bases basically for free. Yeah, Stephano was still in a great position.
This is so interesting, actually, that Stephano is gone for the Broodlords rather quickly. You know, he hasn't gotten the Infestors earlier on.
Sure.
It's kind of interesting, actually.
And here we are, HuK just gathering his forces in the middle, blinking away, just for fun. I love it.
Hey, you got the spelling, might as well use it. Short
How much
cooldown.
mining is he doing left
Not
now?
a
Let's
lot.
see.
He is
Not a lot
almost
there.
out. He's got like
Not a lot there.
basically sort of like 1.5 mining bases because the efficiency at his natural is going to be a little bit lower right now.
Yeah, and Stephano, he is still doing a ton of mining. He's reestablished a 5th base down to the bottom left as well. That hatchery just about to finish up. Finally, Zerglings are going to go down. Looks like HuK on 2 upgrades at the moment. Let's actually take a look at Stephano. 1 flyer upgrade, 2 melee upgrades, and let's see, are there even any roaches left? There we go.
Now, the Broodlords are the interesting things with upgrades because the first hit of the Broodling does
Right.
air damage, and then the hits after that from the Broodling does ground damage. So to really maximize your Broodlords, you need to have upgrades for both air and ground.
Yeah, Broodlords are very, very expensive to completely max out, but if you do, they become an extremely effective unit. HuK has a ton of Blink Stalkers, though. If he's able to get good positioning and draw away the Roach Zergling composition, he can get right underneath those Broodlords, however many there are, and start to pick those away, but he still has a lot of work to do. Is Stephano is max and still sitting on 5 base.
Well, he's getting the Templar archives as well. You know, he's going to want to be able to storm the Zerglings. He's going to want to be able to feed back the Infestors if he sees them.
And here comes the slow siege push out of Stephano. He's going to start hitting this 3rd. A bunch of probes are going to have to transfer over to the 4th, which is now just establishing itself. There we go. Those Broodlords going to town. This Nexus is going to fall very quickly.
Oh, yeah, that is the power of those ground upgrades for the Broodlings.
Wow.
Insta-gibbing, Jethro-gibbing that Nexus, actually. I say insta-gib a lot because I used to play a lot of
No, it's Jethro-gibbing now.
I'm going to say Jethro-gibbing
It's Jethro-gibbing. Yeah, you're
that Nexus
absolutely
got
right.
Jethro-gib, man.
So HuK has to defend for all he's worth because he is still, even with this new Nexus coming up,
gonna be
going
tough,
to be
man.
on 3 base. And Stephano's banking a ton of resources, already at 2K, 1K on top of this. A lot of upgrades being added into the mix.
That's a lot of Infestors, too.
Oh my.
It's a lot of Infestors.
Indeed you do. Here we go. Zerglings making their way out at first, and it looks like
bit
Stephano's going to set up the engagement, or just clearing up a little bit of supply as he decides to make his
I like it how with the Broodlings fire, when the Broodlords are moving away, they like pause next to a long time, like, oh, all right, then I'll go. Yeah.
And feedback's hitting a couple
look
of
at
those
that.
Infestors, but there's just not a lot of Templar in the mix. The Blink Stalkers are getting fungled as well. They're trying to take down these Broodlords as fast as possible, but there are just so many Broodlords, and they are
I
so
know.
powerful.
Yeah, the Infestors as well. I mean, all the Fungals, all the Infested Terrans. HuK is doing a good job of trying to hold this off, but there's just so much stuff from Millennium Stephano. That is it.
And HuK, GG. So congratulations to
Whoa.
Millennium Stephano, who takes game number 1 in this best of 3.
Yeah, what a strong showing by Stephano. That was a really, really amazingly well-played game. Hopefully we can get somebody here to log in for me so I can get back in the game next time.
We'll get that up in just a second,
Awesome.
as unfortunately you were dropped out of that game.
I was dropped.
Sad
Oh,
face. All right, guys. So it looks like